Good evening, everybody. This is Victor Kilo 4, Golf Romeo Bravo, Gary in Faryiryland. Current temperature outside is 28.8 degrees, 65% humidity, 1.3 k of breeze, and we've just had a bit of a light and sound show to the east of my location. Okay, this is Victor Kilo 4, Golf Romeo Bravo for, it's just gone 7:30 p.m. Of course, it's Wednesday night, so that means it's another edition of VK4BAD BADnet for the Bunya Mountains and District Amateur Radio Club. I'll now change my call sign to VK4 Bravo Alpha Delta for the Bunya Mountains and District Amateur Radio Club. This is Victor Kilo 4 BAD. And now listening for any call-ins, VK4 BAD.
VK4 Mike Victor. VK4 FAX.
Okay, we've got VK4 Mike Victor L in Dolby. And we've got VK4 FAX Don in Drayton. This is VK4 Bravo Alpha Delta listening for any more call-ins. VK4 BAD. Okay, nothing heard at the moment. This is Victor Kilo 4 Bravo Alpha Delta for the Bunya Mountains and District Amateur Radio Club. Now listening for any other call-ins. VK4 Bravo Alpha Delta, listening. Okay, we might get a few more before we fire off. I expect possibly about another 2 or 3. But we never know. That's one thing about a net, is you never know how many's going to call in on the night. Okay, this is Victor Kilo 4 Bravo Alpha Delta. At the moment we've got VK4 Mike Victor on the top of the shelf. L. And we've got VK4FAX Don. Anyone else want to join the net before we start the first round? VK4BAD? Okay, for the couple who are here at the moment there, I've got a little trivia question. Now, this one will make you think. How many time zones has Australia got now at the present time? That is the trivia question. Okay, this is Victor Kilo 4 Bravo Alpha Delta listening for any other call-ins. VK4BAD? Okay, nothing heard. of course, for the guys who are watching the live stream, good evening to you. Do us a favour, and if you want, just subscribe and leave a like or a comment. At the moment, there is 3 of us on here at the present time, looking at the channel. So I know I've got, besides myself, we've got two other listeners at the moment. Okay, this is Victor Kilo 4, Bravo Alpha Delta. Last call before we start the first round. VK4BAD.
This is VK4GRB. Sorry, I'm a bit late, Gary.
Oh, okay. Don't have to apologise. We haven't started yet there, or haven't started the first round yet there, Jake. I'll do one more call before we fire off. VK4BAD listening. Okay, we might get Ian and Russell and a couple of others might turn up. You never know. Okay, if you didn't hear the trivia question, how many time zones are operating in Australia at the present time? No, it's not a trick question. Okay, at the present time we've got VK4 Mike Victor, VK4 FAX, and VK4GRB. VK4 Mike Victor, VK4 Bravo Alpha Delta. Go ahead there, Al.
VK4BAD and all the collection of people, VK4MV. Evening, Gary, Don and Jake. All good? Still puzzling over the time zones. Once upon a time I would have told you straight away, but I stopped worrying about it when I wasn't getting phone calls from all the different states. There's either going to be 4 or 5, depending on whether South Australia and Northern Territory are on the same or a different. So, but anyway. My guess is 4 or 5. 5 if Northern Territory and South Australia are on different time zone because one's got daylight saving and the other one hasn't. But anyway, interesting question. I suppose if you're on HF you might be concerned about calling people and waking them up, or they calling you and waking you up. I hope everyone's surviving heat and or storms, whatever the particular weather event is in your locality. Been a warm day here. Actually ran the air conditioner for a little while because in the shack here and computer room on the western side it was red hot. You walk into the rest of the house and it was quite cool. So I felt like being a bit more comfortable. But anyway, still recovering from the accident. The hand is pretty good. Back to therapy on Friday for this week, and then back to the surgeon next week, and that should see the latest on how the medical people are assessing it. But other than that, I'm doing okay. I'm putting the right hand to a lot more work, and I even did a quick look at a radio on the bench and sort of got a bit frustrated because I couldn't follow the circuitry. So, but anyway, we'll get back to it slowly. Yeah, that's about it. Oh, nice job on the new website too, Jake. That's looking very tidy and uncluttered, which is good, easy to find things, but we'll develop that along the way to put a few more features on it, and we'll look for some donations of for the photographs and articles or whatever. So, okay, round to you, Don. VK4FAX in the group, VK4 Mike Victor.
VK4 Mike Victor, VK4 Foxtrot Alpha X-ray, and good evening to you there, Al, and Jake, and thanks Gary for popping up there and running the show this evening. Warm day today. I wasn't aware that you had a problem with the hand there, Al. Sounds like it's a bit of an occupational hazard. What's his name from down at Ball Hills? He's been suffering with a finger problem and a hand problem for a couple of months now. Dion. So must be something going around like the COVID. Had a pretty busy day myself today. Chris went out of town, and like it always happens, as soon as he leaves town, I get blocked drains all over the place, and so I was digging and investigating and pressure cleaning some drains. I managed to get them done and come back to the mower problem, and tried to get a wet and bought a $100 three-legged pulley to get a pulley off, and all it done was collapse the pulley. So I had to go to the hardware store and get myself some more cutting discs, and I had to cut the dash thing off. It was just absolutely seized onto the keyway, and to cut the hair. So that's off now. Just got to go rob a bitch to fix the old mower up. I got a quote $100 for 4 pulleys and a couple of drive shafts. There, trying to find a cheaper spot to buy them from. But anyway, we'll see what happens. VK4GRB with the group VK4FAX.
Yeah, thanks. VK4GRB in the group. Yeah, mower bits aren't cheap, eh? I got an old Greenfield mower at home. It's only a 28-inch cut, but it's a ride-on, so it hates pushing the mower, that's for sure. Did the deck belt on me the other day. Went mowing and got, I don't know, 100 metres down the footpath, and it decided I didn't want to, and it in the belt, went everywhere and flew the dry belt off with it as well. So I didn't want to drive, so roadside repairs got me home, and then the ute down to Butters, and a couple of new pulleys. Where the bearings in them were that notchy, and one of them are about $40 each, and else. So anyway, going. So, and good to hear that your hand's coming along well, Al. So yeah, hopefully it keeps up on the over time. I think I just dropped the key there. I'll just brake and make sure it came back alright. Yep, still there. Sorry about that. Yeah, not a lot else to report on. It's been really busy with work, being the first week back, and looks like it's going to be pretty well busy for the next couple of weeks as well. So anyway, not a lot else to report on. So thanks for holding the net, Gary, and yeah, hope everyone's having a good evening so far. So back to you, Gary. VK4BAD, VK4GRB.
VK4JRA, VK4BAD. Before we continue on, as I the trivia question for tonight, how many times in Australia at the present time? Join the net, VK4, are you listening? only going to be us guys at the moment, but that's no worries. This is not a trick question, but the answer is 6. Figure out what one is. Mind you, and Northern Territory and Western Australia do not change. We have got there, and scratch my head now trying to figure out. Doesn't work out. Okay, I'll give you the answer at the before I close off the net. This is VK4 call-ins, VK4BAD. Over there at the present time. Okay, there, Al, on your hand. That's good. At least you know it's getting better, not worse. And that's always the way. You're all on your lonesome, and then suddenly everybody. So that seems to be the going thing nowadays. The ride on there, Jake. Well, at least one figure was just the belts and the pulley. I've been having on mine. Of course, you've got a roll pin going from the to the down to the blades, and if you snap roll pin as a shear pin, and around here I've been having fun with how many rolls take to mow a lawn. Okay, with that one there, VK4 Mountains and District Amateur Radio Club now listening for any other do. Okay, heard at the time. As I said, it's going to be a short one tonight. On the next go around there, Jake, you could probably give us a bit of an update, if any, on the repeater there. I've been testing here, and the low signal I'm getting is due to my positioning of my antennas here. So that's my side on that. But it all was going in conjunction with that time that we had the lightning storm. So I've got to actually pull my mast down and check my antenna and make sure all the fittings are correct or tight as well, because I still am having a compared to the radios, the bass is giving me a bit less of a to the wires X-ray. Okay, this is Victor Kilo 4, Bravo Alpha Delta. Before we start the second round, anyone else want to come in and join the Bunya Mountains and District Amateur Radio Club? VK4BAD listening? Okay, nothing else heard at the present time. VK4, Mike Victor, back to you there, Al. And when we finish this round, I'll inform you on where number 6 is. And I'm not pulling your leg. There is 6. VK4 Mike Victor, VK4BAD. Over to you there, Al.
AD VK4MV. Yep, well, we're waiting in anticipation. But then you gave us another trivia question. How many roll pins to mow a lawn? It could be. And we've all had mower trouble. I brought a ride on for here, and the second time I was getting around the yard. And of course they don't warrant you. So, but the replacement one's doing quite well, but I think at some stage I might go and buy a spare and just tuck it under the seat or hang it up in the shed somewhere, because I'm sure it'll be halfway through the mow one day and it'll let go, and I'll save myself a trip and I can get the thing back to work straight away. And mowers, anything with motors and wheels is going to give you trouble. And when I got to the letterbox the other day, and there was a bit of moisture around the meat around near the gate at the end of the driveway. And my investigation skills, I looked around and noticed that we came up out of the ground and in through the metering and down back into under the ground towards the house. And I could see a dip mark on the house side, and I think somebody mowing from next door had gone down the centre strip between the two driveways and bumped the pipe and pushed it, and the opposite side, the feed inside, is a bit dodgy, and it's just leaking enough to keep that moisture. I tightened it up, and I think I've slowed it down a bit, but I think it might need a bit more serious look. So I'll have to get that organised. And yes, well, the hand on, if you hadn't heard, back at the end of February, November, I had a prang in the car. Somebody didn't give me right away, and I cleaned them up. So extensive damage on my vehicle, but the only thing that hurt, well, a couple of bruises that I had from seatbelt things, was I broke a bone in the wrist, so that had to be pinned. So that got done successfully, and I've had very good results with dexterity and movement, and I keep exercising it. I've nearly got 100% back, so I'll keep doing that and keep working on it, and hopefully it won't give me any trouble. There's plenty of feeling and dexterity and all that sort of thing. Just I haven't been putting a lot of pressure on it. Although strangely enough, the first trip back after it was only a bit over 2 weeks, I think, from the operation. And when I went back to see the surgeon in Brisbane, he says, "Oh, we'll have a look at, that's good, that's looking good." He said, and he produces the steering wheel and gets me to grab one side, and he grabs the other side, and I'm fighting him with it. And he said, he said, not giving you any trouble there. He said, "I think you'll be right to drive." So I said, "Yeah, well, that's fine, but I'll need a car if I'm going to do that, because mine's currently in Brisbane under assessment. I think they'll write it off, but I wish they'd hurry up so that I could get another one supplied. But anyway, that's the story of things, and I think I'll get the same again, because the way it survived the prang, and I just opened the door and stepped out without any drama, I can guarantee that the new Nissan Navaras are pretty solidly built, because if Toyota Hiluxes are unbreakable, well, I broke it, and it didn't break the Nissan. So I'm very happy with that. But anyway, just I don't want to be lifting radios at the moment and things like that. Nothing too heavy until at least I've got a couple of maybe 2 months of recovery. But I'll find out Friday and next week about how the ultimate progress is going to be from what they can see. So other than that, all good. And everybody seems to have mower trouble. And I think my neighbour's, she came into a little bit of my lawn just she said, oh, here's your Christmas present. So she ran up and down mine, knowing that I had a restricted with one hand. She made my lawn, and then she went and did a bit of the neighbour at the front, and then she did her own. I think she's a frustrated mowing contractor. But anyway. I just dropped that. That actually timed out for once. Yes, it's interesting days with mowers. You can always have trouble with them, and yes, they do a lot of good work, but they also wear out easy. So anyway, back around to you, Don. I think I'll be down your way on Friday. Actually, I've got to go out to Carney Springs to Kevin's place, VK4VKX. Got a little trouble with the radio there. Might be able to help me with, so I'll go and check it out what the problem is, and on my way to the hand therapy. But anyway, that's out in your direction from town. VK4FAX and the group VK4 Mike Victor.
VK4 Mike Victor, VK4 Foxtrot Alpha X-ray. I do recall now about that car accident you had. I'd completely forgotten about that. This mower of mine, it's what do they call them, a zero-turn gadget. Had about 10 years or more, and we spent quite a few dollars on it over the years. Anyway, it's just a couple of the drive shafts through the deck of bearings and what have you have given up the ghost, and I pulled the deck out from underneath it yesterday and started pulling it apart. Anyway, there is an online marketplace where you can buy the parts, and they're about 30% cheaper than the local fella, but I'm waiting on an answer back. I'm guessing it's from America, and then when you add the freight on and the difference between our dollar value, probably be about the same price. But anyway, I still haven't heard back from them because I sent an email off this morning, and it means that they won't, it'll be their day to, it would have been night time over there. Anyway, we'll see what happens there. Kev, great, you can go and help him. I was out transporting some more materials around for Mark Brandwell. I'll just break for a tick. Mark, I'm not sure of his call sign, because he doesn't get on the air, he mainly just listens. We did put a 40-80 metre end-fed antenna up. Bob and I, ZOW did it about 6 months ago. We had to go and we'll pull it all down there a couple of weeks back, but the sun picked up a heap of pipe and that from where he was living and took it to these new digs. He forgot about some stuff that was behind the shed. I went and picked it up today, and it was a 6.5 metre length of 65 mil heavy wall galvanised pipe. Well, I was flat out picking one end up. I got it on the back, onto the rack of the ute, and then got the other end and pivoted it up. And anyway, we got it over to the new rig, the new place he's got in Spring Street. But this house it's got a forest. I think I'm pretty sure it's got more trees in it than Queen's Park. And he wants me to try and put an antenna up for him. And how he's ever going to get out between the trees. They're all up around about 40 metres high, and there's a clear path between them that I can get something up, but whether he's going to get out, I don't know. Anyway, that's another one. I'll just break again. W. Bob, he's been out of action a bit. He had one of those operations that us men have to have, lift anything. I took some pipe out to him a couple of weeks back for an antenna, so hopefully another week or two he'll be okay to get the brackets up and we can go and help him and get him on the air so that he can join in with us of a Wednesday evening, because he's only operating off a handheld at the moment, so we'll get him sorted out. He's got a nice 2-metre and fiberglass stick out there that we're going to pop up on the top of about a 6.5-metre pole and get him operational. Yeah, and those car accidents where the wife got dinged up there back in November. Somebody swiped the back of the vehicle and put the report into the insurance, paid the $600 excess because we didn't know who did it. Sent them about 4 emails so far to find out when they're going to assess it. Luckily we can still drive it, it's only a minor accident, but it took out a taillight that's worth about $800. And I'm going to have to chase them up again tomorrow, so the emails are not working, so it sounds like I've got to bash in here. VK4GRB from VK4FAX who's got the gramophone needle vaccinated this evening. Over to you there, Jake.
Yeah, thanks again, Don. VK4FAX, VK4GRA, returning. So, yeah, it must have been the time of year for car accidents, hey, because even I had one. It must have been late November, early December. So it was actually my fault. I failed to give way at a give way sign. There was a vehicle coming on my left in front of me, and they were in the blind spot of that front corner pillar, because they've got a snorkel there around it, and they just stayed in the blind spot the whole time, and I turning right and turned into them, and that was that. So anyway, did a fair bit of damage to their car, which happened to be a dealer demonstrator car, but anyway, and a little bit of damage to my ute. So luckily my insurance covered them after I paid the excess, but it wasn't worth doing a claim or anything for my ute. I've only got third-party firearm theft on it because I'm under 25. It's not worth paying $2.5 grand a year in comprehensive insurance for a car that costs only twice that. So I paid off in 2 years and could go and buy another one. So it's anyway, not worth it. But everything's fine there. A couple of weekends work on my ute, and it's back on the road. So minus a few antennas whose coax got squashed. So the new coax cables are on the way. So I'll have fun taking the antennas apart and running new cable into them. So they're a pre-terminated lead with special GME and RFI ends on it that you put into the antenna, and it comes with 4 or 5 metres of cable. So I'm getting that through work, and hopefully should be here sometime this week. So yeah. And mowers, they never end with maintenance, so it's not one thing, it's another. So they're handy though, so I don't know what we'd do without them. We'd be living in the bush with all the snakes. So, and I don't really like mulching up rocks or anything with mine, because they're good, but they've got an aluminium deck, so any big rocks or anything, it can shoot it out in any direction, and usually it takes chunks of aluminium with it, whether it be sideways or upwards or whatever. It's my deck's in pretty good condition actually, surprisingly, even though some of the things I've run over haven't been very nice at all. Anyway, so as for the repeaters, nothing's really moving as of yet. Still getting an antenna organised for the new spot. That should be turning up within the next couple of weeks. Starting to build the repeater and whatnot for the remote side over near Mergen. But as for the stuff going on Kiangaro, where this repeater is, still waiting to get given it or start. I think Andrew's still yet to start building it, so he's in the middle of moving house. So that's about where it's at. I'm going to try, now that everyone's back at work, I'm going to try and get some time to catch up with him and see what we can put together to get it all up and going. Alright, I'll just break for a tick. VK4GRA returning. So yeah, that's about where the repeaters are at. We'll keep everyone posted if we're going to install antennas or repeaters or anything like that. So we'll take some photos, and it can be some of the content that gets put on the website. So it's up and running, the new website, just with some basic information for now. So yeah, just as I go and as time permits, I can add in the club onto there just to expand on what's there now. So we drop the key again. I'm good at that. Fingers getting sore. Yeah, we changed the web hosting, and because of that, some didn't transfer over. So it was sort of a spur of the moment. Had to build a new one. So yeah, it's up and operational, and we'll expand as we go. So if you've got any content, yeah, shoot it through, and I'm sure we can make use of it. So, all right, I just got a message that the tucker's up, so I might disappear, but good to chat to everyone, and thanks, Gary, for holding the net, and we'll catch us all around. This is VK4GRB, passing it back to Gary, VK4BAD.
VK4JRA, VK4BAD. Before we continue on, is there anyone else want to join the net? VK4BAD listening? Okay, nothing else heard at the present time. Okay. Now, the answer to the time zones. As I said, Queensland, Western Australia and Northern Territory stay the same. So we've got Queensland, Northern Territory and South Australia and Western Australia. So there's 3. Then you got South Australia, that makes 4. Then you got Victoria, New South Wales, that makes 5. Now, here comes the catch one, is that from the South Australian border to 400 kilometres to the west, you have number 6. And it covers... it's actually 45 minutes difference. It's a 45 minutes difference between Australian Eastern Standard Time and Western Australia Central Time. Now it only covers 2, possible 3 towns at the most. It's along the Nullarbor Plains. And it's from the Western Australian border, and it only goes for about 400 kilometres to the west, and that is number 6. Okay, so if you're ever playing trivia, that is a good one for you there, because people don't realise that if you look at your phone and put in Western Australian Standard Time, it will pop up as Western Australian Standard Time. Western Australian Central Time. It will pop up as Western Australia Central Time. Not very limited amount of people really realise that there's actually a time zone difference there. It is 45 minutes difference between that one and no, and I was wrong. 45 minutes difference between Western Australian time. Stand by. VK4 Bravo Alpha Delta returning, and Western Australia Central Time. There is 45 minutes difference because of the distance between Perth and the Western Australia, South Australia border. So there's a 45-minute time difference there. But if you're ever listening to trivia and that is a good one for you, because not too many people realise that this time of the year there is actually 6 time zones. That time zone never changes neither, because it's part of Western Australia. So we've actually got, when the time zones do come into back, we've usually got 4. Well, people say 3, but we've actually got 4. As I said, they don't realise that one's there, but you're also in there. And put in Western Australia Central Time, it will pop up on your phone as Western Australia Central Time. If you put in Western Australia, it will give you a different time, about 45 minutes difference. Okay, well there's a bit of trivia for you. One of the ABC announcers there the other night on the early show, he was very surprised when he found out that there's actually another time zone. And I've known that time zone to be there for a few years now. And as I said, not too many people realise that there is a 400 kilometre gap between them. You know, of area where it is a completely different time zone, and it's legit. Okay, anyway, I'll stop waffling on this one. This is VK4 Bravo Alpha Delta for the Bunya Mountains and District Amateur Radio Club. Anyone else want to come in and say hello, goodbye before we shut the net down? VK4BAD.
VK4BAD, VK4FAX. It doesn't sound like anyone's there, Gary, but I'm going to throw another one in the mix there. What about Norfolk Island? It'll have a time zone that'll be before, it's out there between NZ and us, so possibly the 7. What did you think about that? Back to you.
That one there gets a bit more difficult because that one actually comes under New South Wales. So it's actually still under Australian Eastern Standard Time. But at the moment it's under Australian Eastern Daylight Time. It comes under, even though it's out in the Pacific, it comes under as New South Wales time, that one does. So we've still only got 6 there. But theoretically, Norfolk Island, they work on their own time. They got Norfolk Island time, which is virtually like what Queensland time is, slow. Okay, no worries there. But no, Norfolk Island come under the Australian Eastern Daylight Time at the present there, because they're in part of New South Wales theoretically. VK4, but technically, yes, they will be pretty well close to being an hour ahead of us. If they went on their own time zone, because they're halfway between Australia and New Zealand, so they would be technically they're an hour or close on an hour, but unfortunately they come under the New South Wales time zone there. VK4BAD. Anyone else want to join the net just in case? Just say hello, goodbye. VK4BAD.
VK4BAD, VK4FAX. I'll butt in again. I did hear that Norfolk Island is not part of New South Wales anymore. It's actually Queensland. New South Wales decided that they didn't want it. So Queensland took it over, I think, a couple of years back. But anyway, you can check that. I did hear that on somewhere, probably on the ABC. Where we listen most times, Gary. Back to you.
Oh, okay. I'm not aware of that. As I said, I knew that they were originally under New South Wales, but they could be under Queensland. They may have seen the light. Anyway, okay with that one there. This is Victor Kilo 4 Bravo Alpha Delta for the Bunya Mountains and District Amateur Radio Club. I'd like to thank VK4 Mike Victor L in Dalby, VK4 FAX Don in Drayton, and VK4GRB Jake in Dalby. This is Victor Kilo 4 Bravo Alpha Delta for the Bunya Mountains and District Amateur Radio Club. We hold this net every Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m, 1930 hours. On this frequency you are listening to. This is VK4 Bravo Alpha Delta. I'll now return back to my home call of VK4 Golf Romeo Bravo Gary in Faryiryland. Until the same time next week, I'll bid you all 7-free, and we'll catch you all again, and we'll catch you all again next week. Until then, this is VK4 Bravo Golf Romeo Bravo 7-free. Bye for now.